Have you ever met someone who was not the loudest person in the room, yet everyone seemed comfortable around them? They did not need expensive clothes, perfect English, or a dramatic personality. There was simply something about the way they spoke, listened, and carried themselves. That kind of personality is not something you are simply born with. It grows from the choices you make every day, the way you think, the way you communicate, the way you treat people, and the way you handle difficult moments all shape the person you become. And the good news is that you can change. You can become more confident without becoming arrogant. You can become a better speaker without using difficult words. You can become calmer, kinder, more disciplined, and more comfortable with yourself. As you listen, notice the simple English expressions used throughout the lesson. Try to repeat some of them aloud. You are not only learning about personality, you are also practicing the kind of English you can use in real conversations. One of the best places to begin is with your morning mindset. The thoughts you have at the beginning of the day can influence the way you handle everything that follows. If you wake up already telling yourself that the day will go badly, small problems may feel much bigger. You may become impatient, nervous, or easily discouraged. A positive mindset does not mean pretending that everything is wonderful. Real life has difficult days. You will make mistakes. Some plans will fail. People may disappoint you. A positive person simply chooses not to let one difficult moment decide the entire day. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," try saying, "I'll give it a try." Instead of, "I'm not good at this," say, "I'm still learning." And instead of, "Today is going to be terrible," tell yourself, "I'll do what I can and handle things one step at a time." These sentences may sound simple, but the language you use with yourself matters. When you repeatedly speak to yourself with patience and hope, your attitude begins to change. You can make this a small morning habit. Before you begin your day, remind yourself, "I am learning. I am improving. I will speak with respect. I will stay calm. I will not give up easily." You don't have to feel completely confident when you say these words. The goal is to train your mind to look for progress instead of constantly looking for failure. The next part of your personality that people notice is the way you communicate. You do not need to talk constantly to appear confident. In fact, confident communication is often simple. Speak clearly. Give people time to finish their thoughts. Choose your words carefully. And when you disagree, learn to express your opinion without attacking the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You're wrong," you could say, "I see it differently." Instead of interrupting someone, try, "Let me hear you out." And when you need to explain yourself, you can say, "Let me explain what I mean." These are useful expressions for English learners because they help you sound natural while also showing respect. Do not wait until your English is perfect before you start speaking. Perfect English is not the goal. Clear communication is. You may make mistakes, forget a word, or need to correct yourself. That's normal. Speak a little every day. Describe what you are doing. Share your opinion. Ask a question. Have a short conversation. Each time you use English, you are building evidence that you can communicate. Your confidence grows through practice, not through waiting. There's another part of communication that is easy to forget: your body. Before you say a single word, your posture, facial expression, eye contact, and movement are already communicating something. If you constantly look at the floor or hide behind your phone, you may appear uncomfortable even when you have valuable things to say. You do not need to stand like a soldier or force yourself to smile all the time. Just try to look present and relaxed. Keep your shoulders comfortable, lift your head, make natural eye contact, and allow your voice to come out clearly. Confidence is not about acting superior. It's about being comfortable enough to say, "I belong here, and I respect the people around me." That balance matters. Ego says, I am better than you. Healthy confidence says, I know my value, and I also respect yours. And while speaking clearly is important, learning to listen may be even more powerful. Many conversations become difficult because both people are preparing their next sentence instead of actually listening. Someone is talking, but the other person is already thinking about how to respond, disagree, or tell their own story. Try something different. Put your phone away. Look at the person. Let them finish. Pay attention to what they are really trying to say. You do not always need to give advice. Sometimes people simply want to feel heard. When you listen carefully, you learn more about other people. You also become better at understanding feelings, opinions, and different ways of thinking. And when it's finally your turn to speak, your response is usually more thoughtful. Good communication is not about having the most words. It's about making the other person feel that their words matter. There is one more skill that can completely change the way people experience your personality: learning to manage your emotions. Anyone can remain calm when everything is going well. The real test comes when you are frustrated, embarrassed, angry, or disappointed. You might receive a rude message, someone may criticize you, a plan may suddenly fail. In that moment, you have a choice. You can react immediately, or you can pause. Take a breath. Give yourself a few seconds. Then ask, what response will actually help this situation? You are allowed to feel angry. You are allowed to feel nervous. Emotional strength doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means your emotions don't automatically decide your behavior. Sometimes the strongest sentence is not something you say. Sometimes it's the sentence you choose not to say. When you learn to pause before reacting, you protect your relationships, your reputation, and your own peace of mind. You begin to respond with intention instead of acting on impulse. And that's a major sign of maturity.
Another simple way to strengthen your personality is to keep learning. A curious person is rarely boring because they continue discovering new things. You do not need to read 10 books a month or study for hours every day. Small, consistent learning is enough. Read a few pages. Learn a new English expression. Watch something educational. Ask a thoughtful question. Practice a skill. Even 10 useful minutes can make a difference when you repeat the habit every day. Learning also gives you something important: a stronger inner world. When you understand more, you have more ideas to share. You become better at making decisions, expressing yourself, and understanding other people. So instead of spending every free moment scrolling through content that adds nothing to your life, sometimes ask yourself, what can I learn from this time? Your personality grows when your mind keeps growing. But knowledge alone is not enough. You also need to turn what you know into action. This is where confidence begins to develop. Many people think confident people simply feel fearless. In reality, confidence often means doing something while you still feel nervous. Maybe you're afraid to speak English in front of others. Start with one sentence. Maybe you want to meet new people. Start with a simple greeting. Maybe you want to share your opinion at work or in class. Say one clear sentence instead of staying completely silent. Small actions create small victories. Those victories teach your mind, I can handle this. Over time, those small moments become trust in yourself. So do not compare your beginning with somebody else's polished result. You may see a person speaking English naturally today, but you do not see all the mistakes they made when they were learning. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. You might say, I'm still learning, but I'm getting better. That sentence is useful because it accepts where you are without giving up on where you want to go. The same idea applies to the way you treat other people. A confident personality becomes much more attractive when it is combined with kindness. You can be strong without making someone else feel weak. You can disagree without being disrespectful. You can say no without being rude. Pay attention to how you behave with people who cannot give you anything in return. How do you speak to a waiter, a cleaner, a younger person, a new student, or someone who's having a difficult day? Those ordinary moments often reveal more about your character than impressive words ever could. Respect does not mean agreeing with everyone. You can have different opinions and still say, "I understand your point." You can protect your boundaries and still remain polite. You can walk away from an unhealthy situation without creating unnecessary conflict. That's not weakness, that's balance. Your appearance also plays a small but useful role in your personality. You don't need designer clothes or an expensive lifestyle. Clean, comfortable, well-kept clothing is enough. Take care of your hygiene. Keep your clothes neat. Pay attention to your hair, breath, nails, and general appearance. These habits are not about impressing strangers. They're about showing yourself that you are worth taking care of. When you prepare yourself well, you often feel more ready to face the day. But remember, appearance can create a first impression. Character creates the lasting one. That's why your daily standards matter so much. Decide what kind of person you want to be, and then let your everyday choices support that decision. Keep your promises when you can. Use your time wisely. Speak honestly. Practice your English. Control your temper. Keep learning. You won't follow these standards perfectly every day. Nobody does. The important thing is to notice when you go off track and return to the habits that matter.
Do not build your personality around other people's approval. Build it around values you can respect. And finally, think about the feeling you leave behind when you talk to someone. Do people feel comfortable around you? Do they feel listened to? Do they feel respected? You do not need to be cheerful every moment. Everyone has bad days, but you can still choose not to spread unnecessary negativity. A kind word, a patient answer, or a little encouragement can make a real difference. Sometimes you may never know how much someone needed those few words. So become a person who brings calm instead of unnecessary conflict, encouragement instead of constant criticism, and respect instead of judgment. At the same time, remember to give that same kindness to yourself. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to someone who is learning and trying their best. You are not required to become a completely different person. The goal is to develop the best qualities already within you. Speak with confidence. Listen with patience. Take care of yourself. Keep learning. Treat people well. Control your reactions. Take small steps even when you feel nervous. A strong personality is built quietly through ordinary choices repeated over time. And perhaps the most important thing to remember is this: you do not have to become perfect to become better. One better thought can change your morning. One better sentence can improve a conversation. One small act of courage can increase your confidence. One kind decision can improve someone else's day. Keep making those small choices. Thank you for spending this time learning and practicing English with me. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep working on yourself little by little. Your English can improve, your confidence can grow, and your personality can become stronger with every day you choose to keep going.